You might want to go garden without having to turn up your whole backyard. In that case, consider doing raised beds. They're pretty easy to construct. You have some 2x, you have some 4x4 posts, and a few screws to hold them together. You might be putting up hoops, you might be putting up a trellis. What you will want to consider is if you're going into the fall gardening season, let's choose some things that are cool season crops. You will want to put in really good soil and make sure it's well drained. So again, that soil medium is really essential if you're going to start going and gardening correctly. And then you're going to choose things like beets, carrots, radishes, collards, peas that will actually withstand those cooler night temperatures and give you the crop that you want. You will want to plant those by looking at the date on the seed package, and you're really looking at days to maturity. So if you back yourselves up into the first part of August and it's just deadly hot and you have something that is going to take a long season to mature, that may not be the right choice. Short season things such as radishes, you can start and then hope it is not too hot, but if it does get too hot, you simply harvest early and you may actually have the chance to do another crop. You will watch as always for pests and diseases, but you'll notice also that you can pack your vegetables in pretty tightly in a raised bed. It's pretty intense gardening, and then go ahead and harvest as things become mature. We have a great crop in here of kohlrabi that is almost ready. Our radishes actually did bolt, and we also have some roly-poly damage on them, which is interesting. This is collard greens, which is one of those greens that is actually making sort of a resurgence or becoming popular in the Great Plains states, even though it has been popular in the South for a long time. What you also might want to consider is if you want to extend that season even further, even if you are a beginning gardener, you can use the hoops. You'll leave the covering off of those hoops so that the plants can get all the sun, all the moisture, all the warmth they need. Perhaps then go ahead and pull that very first fall crop out and put in a crop in the spring. The nice thing about the hoops also and the raised beds is that you'll find that the soil will actually warm up sooner in the spring. So if you get the crop from the fall out, you can start even earlier in the spring with your planting than you can if you're going into the soil that you have amended in the ground. So it is a great alternative to be able to begin gardening in a very small restricted space. See how well it works out for you to do that before you go to the effort and maybe the expense of plowing up a whole portion of your yard. And of course, as with any gardening where you're growing vegetables for consumption and flowers that need some sun, choose your site wisely. If it's in too much shade, if it's poorly drained, if you actually don't have access to a water source to be able to water it, you're going to have a bit of trouble. Those all are going to apply whether you're gardening in the ground or you're gardening in a raised bed.